I think the biggest lie I believed about when I was younger was that time will actually change me in any way. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people will conform to this idea that you just believe that things will change with time, like when you get older or when you enter adulthood. So, if you're talking about Korea, many times young kids will grow up listening to this. You'll be able to do what you want when you get older, when you're 19, when you're 20. Um, Most of the time, that mark is when you enter university. And like many others, I had no choice but to follow or believe in that message. So when you actually became 20, when you actually became a college student, you wanted to find out. All I found out after a semester or two is that this is completely out of control. It's not what you think. But by the time you realize, you think it's very difficult to admit that you've been told wrong messages. But anyways, what I found out was being 20 doesn't mean that you're an adult, doesn't mean you are able to deal with what's ahead of you. It doesn't mean that you can actually be a responsible social being. And to be honest, I spent a lot of time running away from this. And, as time went by, it became more and more difficult. And I would also say that, I'm not completely out of this. I'm still in the process. But at least I know one thing's for sure. Being responsible for yourself and being responsible for others is something that's not just difficult. It makes you a real human being. It gives you all the strength to actually go forth. So I'd like to say that adulthood starts when you actually admit that you're not an adult. You'll never, complete or finalize the best version of yourself. It's a lifelong thing.